Definitely an interesting start to this Sunday. Much of the viewing area shaken by a 5.1 magnitude earthquake. We want to get straight over to meteorologist Chris Mulcahy. Chris, you are tracking this earthquake. Just tell us some of the significance about this earthquake. This is rather large for our viewing area.
Well, Kendall, first off, this is historic right now. This first started as a 2.3 magnitude earthquake, and that's where you can barely feel it, or you're starting to feel it, and that was yesterday. So that would be what's called the foreshock, meaning before usually a bigger magnitude earthquake, as we saw today. 5.1, as far as this measures for the history of North Carolina, the strongest was in 1916 at 5.5. We had a similar one, about a 5.1 back in 1861, and then there was also a Mitchell County earthquake back in 1926. Listen to some of those years. This is the strongest earthquake that we've had in North Carolina for 100 years. So this is significant. So what does a 5.1 even mean? Well, first off, look where this started. It started pretty much on the border of North Carolina and Virginia, but it's all the way down here into Lancaster County that we actually had some effects. So getting some of our viewer emails in here, this one right here said, I live in South Lancaster County, and it was strong enough to shake its China cabinet. Think about that. This is about 100 miles away. So let's put on our measuring scope to actually see how far away this was affected. So this was just southeast of Sparta, North Carolina, again, right on the border of Virginia and North Carolina. Check out this measuring tool. From Charlotte, the epicenter was 100 miles away. Many of you reporting this. I got some emails from Denver, North Carolina, down to Rock Hill, Fort Mill, that's 117. And we're talking about southern Lancaster County, where that email came from. That's about 150 miles away. So a 5.1, again, is a very significant earthquake where sometimes this can cause some cracks in the walls. This can also shake some cabinets, as we just heard, and that was over 100 miles away, and many could be awakened by that. Some people were saying that they woke up around 8:07 when this officially happened in York County. So this is a significant event just because of how far that it reached. And this often happens because there's fault lines, there's little tremors that this can follow, but we're also not done with this. There's going to be aftershocks over the next couple of days that we have to mention. So they're going to be less. Picture like a bouncy ball. When you first bounce it, it's going to be at its highest point, just like the earthquake will be at its strongest point. So likely anyone who felt it could feel a little bit more of those 2s or 3s over the next day. Even a little bit later on, as far south as maybe Hickory, you could be feeling some of these tremors. But this looks to be the big one, and again, a historic event where a 5.1, again to reiterate, can move some furniture. Light shaking and some property damage is likely around where this epicenter took place. This is historic, everyone. So hopefully everyone is okay. The further that you get away from it, it's mainly just kind of a shock and awe to the system. But this one is going to go down into the history books. The most recent one trying to reach back in the history books was 1981, 3.5 magnitude earthquake in Henderson County. But this one was a big one. So keep on sending us any information that you have on Facebook. WCNC.com is going to be updated through the day. This is the major story. As for the weather, all is going to be well today.